Hawksby and Jacobs here on talkSPORT. Yeah, big night of football. We kick off 5:45, Slavia Prague versus Arsenal in the Champions League. Tottenham versus Copenhagen at 8 o'clock. And over on talkSPORT 2 at 8, we got Cov versus Sheffield United. Cov surprisingly beaten at the weekend by Wrexham.
Yeah, that was
only call us out on ChatGPT. Anyway, we'll talk to Dance about that a little bit later on. But we're going to talk Arsenal now with their former winger, our very own Perry Groves. Good afternoon, Perry.
Buenos dias, Senor Andy. Buenos dias, Senor Paul.
He's doing his own Spanish now.
Very nice.
Fantastic. I'll tell you about this before we chat. Let's hear from Mikel Arteta. He was talking about Victor Gyökeres' fitness after he was substituted against Burnley at the weekend.
No, he's definitely not available. He hasn't trained today, and we need to do some more tests and scans in the next few days to understand the extent of the injury, but this game is not available. No, I am concerned because he hasn't had many muscular issues, and he had to leave the pitch, and he was feeling something, and that's obviously never a good sign, especially for a player that it's very, very explosive. So we are digging in a little bit more to understand where we are in terms of the injury, and we'll announce the moment we know.
Yeah, he did seem a bit concerned, Perry, didn't he? I mean, I take it you are as well, because it's not an area where
about 6 attacking players injured at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a strange one because injuries like the Odegaard injury, which is an impact injury, which was knee on knee, and he did his shoulder before, didn't he, where he had the fall. You can't account for those. You know what I mean? That is just part of football. But Arsenal seem to be picking up a lot of like niggling muscular injuries. Like last season, if you think 3 Arsenal players had hamstring operations, one, you can be unlucky. 2 is like sort of never known, and 3 is like unbelievable. So I don't know. I've said before about the pitches. I think all the pitches compared to when I played, they're all a lot harder. There's not a lot more, not as much give in the pitches, because they're more sand and stone based. So, that could be a reason. Maybe the intensity of training has to come down a little bit, because it can't be coincidence having so many muscular problems.
Just the amount of football the guys are playing. Most of these guys are going off and playing international football as well. I mean, he's pretty relentless. A lot of managers.
It's one of the few things that could derail Arsenal. The going for all 4.
Yeah. Do you think there's 2 players, if they lost, they'd be in trouble? Who are they? I see what Perry thinks of that.
Well, I think Gabriel definitely from corners, and Rice. I think you've got forward players to come in, but those 2 for me are the keys.
What do you think of that, Perry?
Well, yeah, I think with Gabriel, we had Saliba out for a long period last season, injured. So you can have Calafiori can play on the left side of the.
It's from set plays though, isn't he? He's so effective, Gabriel.
He is, but there's other people who can head the ball as well, Andy. Do you know what I mean? So you just like substitute a Calafiori in there, or Mosquera comes in, Nketiah comes in. Declan Rice, I think he's probably the most unique, out of all the players. I'd agree with that one because I call him like the Arsenal Springer Spaniel because he just bounces around exactly the same in the first minute as what he does in the 95th. You know what I mean? And he's relentless. He's got to be careful tonight, obviously, because he's on a booking. So don't want to get booked. So he misses the Bayern Munich game if he does. But I think he's the most unique out of all the players.
I don't know if you've been doing any homework on Slavia Prague. I mean, the feeling is even with the players missing, you should have enough to I mean, the way you've been going to the Champions League so far, you should have enough to get a result tonight, shouldn't you?
Yeah, they've not won in the Champions League since 2007. I think it's 14.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where obviously they're the best team in the Czech Republic, but then the step up to the Champions League is too big for them. But it's just about, it's complacency. These games, I think it's a 20,000 sellout crowd where Arsenal are a big team coming into sort of Slavia Prague's territory. So full well you've got to quieten the crowd down in the first sort of 25, 30 minutes. And the only thing that will stop Arsenal winning the game will be complacency if the attitude isn't right.
Yeah.
Actually, this season the attitude's been
I mean, they've
really
good. If they've gone to teams, inferior teams, inverted commas, they've not let off. So
there's a lot of belief, isn't there, in the team, even with the injuries or whatever. They really, you get the feeling they think they can definitely do it this year.
You know what it is, Anne? Just watching the games, I don't think there's any panic in situations now. Longer it goes 0-0, actually the stronger that Arsenal get. And also, I was lucky enough to play in the team. We only conceded 18 goals in the 1990-91 season. And when you're playing in teams, like when you score, you can see the body language of the opposition.
Yeah.
And they all look around and they think, we're not scoring two.
No,
Do you know what I mean?
Definitely.
It's a big psychological sort of, you mentioned about the set pieces, which, you know, who'd have thought it, that you're allowed to score from set pieces these days, and the return of the long throw, which I think is great, because we watch games in the past where, you know, you play across the back four, you go into midfield, you go back four again. We want exciting football, which the Premier League, you know, was renowned for. And if you mix it up and you go long and you go in the channels, or you create a bit of mayhem, happy days, because there's more goal scoring opportunities.
We were chatting off air before the show about all of our Trent equivalents, those players that come back to your club and don't get a massively good reaction. It may have escaped some people's notice, but we're not overly keen on Sol Campbell at the Lane.
That's funny.
And Sean, our producer, is an Arsenal fan, and he was saying probably Fabregas was the one that sort of got it, you know, after moving to Chelsea and stuff. It's always a fine line. On fans on the outside, I mean, they'll say, well, look, Trent was brilliant. He was at Liverpool from the age of 8. It seems to be the fact that he went for Nelt,
which isn't his fault. Like
Sol Campbell, it kind of catches in the crowd of the Liverpool fans. What's your reading of it? Would you be giving him a round of applause? But I mean, you haven't got skin in the game, Perry, a bit like us, I guess. We're not Liverpool fans.
Yeah, but also Liverpool fans, you got to get over yourself. Real Madrid are a bigger club than you. It's that is it. The food chain. I got it when Van Persie left us to go to Man United, because Man United had more chance of winning the Premier League. At the time when Fabregas went to Chelsea, they had more chance in that he wants to win trophies. So sometimes you have to get it. And the Liverpool fans, they think that if they boo Trent Alexander-Arnold, it's going to make him play worse. Because all it'll do, apathy is the best thing. And apathy, if you could, you just go, oh, he's back. But if you boo him like the pantomime villain, it's going to inspire him. And when he put on a Liverpool, as a player, your duty is when you put on your shirt for the team that you're playing, you give everything that you have when you're wearing that shirt. When it's in training, when it's in games, then he's allowed to say, I want to go and I think he should be applauded to go and test himself and get him out of his comfort zone. And I love Liverpool as a city. I go up there, a couple of best mates are up there, and it is brilliant to go up there. But on the football side, a lot of Liverpool fans think that the football world stops outside the Runcorn Bridge, that Liverpool is its own sort of football island. Trent's done brilliantly for Liverpool, won everything he could win. He's gone to Real Madrid. If it was me, I must admit, I don't think I'd clap or boo. I don't think it'd be bothering me either way, because he doesn't play for my team anymore.
Yeah, sure. You were a bit of a panto villain, Perry. How did you feed off the booze? How did you feel about it?
Panto villain. I used to get booed when they used to read the names up the warm-up. Number 9, Alan Smith. Number 10, Paul Merchant. Number 11, boo.
Thanks.
Yeah. But the thing is, when you're playing, I don't care. I don't believe any player. If your own fans turn against you and they boo you, it makes you more tense. It makes you more anxious, because you know that your touch is being scrutinised, your pass. You don't play freely because you've got it in your head. So booing, as you said there, Paul, it's a bit of a, you know, if you're booing and you're having a laugh, it can be funny, but booing your own player is never going to make them perform any better at all, and booing your own team. So I get it if it's at half time, I get it if it's the end of the game, but during the games, you want to get behind because you want your team to win. Sure. And when the fans round, all I used to do, I just used to run around. And kick a few people, and then they get inside. So you're right.
Doesn't take much.
He's already been booed by the Liverpool fans when he was playing for Liverpool.
He's got it out of his system. Anyway, he may not play, so he'll just get booed as he's warming up on the sidelines. Cheers, Perry. Enjoy the game tonight. Thanks very much.
Cheers, boys.
Perry Groves there, former Arsenal winger. Joe Shannon and Scott Minto, your commentary team for that one at 6:15 on talkSPORT 2. We're about to touch on Spurs Copenhagen next, because, and that's live on talkSPORT at 8, because Stephen Mangan's popping in the studio, actor, author. His new book's out. He'll be telling us about that in a few moments' time.